Ben! She's dead, you'll understand. I don't know about that. Oh yeah, the music. I'm looking forward to the next hour. The 12 to 13 block. When does this game end anyway? At midnight? Straight at midnight or earlier? How many hours are there? The game is really fucking long. I think this will be Umineko's scale for me to upload, but woo, let's take a look at the time chart, since it's easier to... Oh, fuck my life. That picture. Oh, let's not do that first. Let's try to continue with Kano. Let's get a different pace and tone in here. Rather than being overly serious or overly funny, let's go for overly police boring. Kano. Maintaining pursuit. Sure. We're still on the Shibuya Square or something, right? Kano had been watching syndicate members hand off the attached case for an hour and a half. He still had no idea where this relay might be headed. The man he was tailing now was about 10 meters away, close enough that Kano could close the distance and apprehend him at a moment's notice. But his orders remained the same: follow and observe. Oh, another handoff? And another handoff? That's a peculiar ring. He watched as the case was handed off once more. Did they loop in the meantime, or are there that many foreign people around? By now, the shock of seeing it pass to yet another accomplice had worn off. Think they're trying to wear them out. It's already been 90 minutes, huh? Oh, it was Sasayama. At some point he'd crept up on Kano from behind, which doesn't look weird at all, you know, this otaku next to this business suit man. They don't seem like they're trying to get away at all, Kano said. They're just walking. What could they be up to? Sasayama shrugged. Yeah, it's weird. Kano recalled Dick Dictum number 89. Finally, a new Dick Dictum. Let's see what it is. Yeah, sure. Give me a second to translate. It means the more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. Exactly. What a nice animation. If Tateno's wisdom held true, so it's not Kachiwara, okay, the syndicate must have some reason for what it was doing. Were they just trying to throw the investigators off their scent? They're trying to make it look so normal for these handoffs to happen, and they're trying to thin them out so much that at one point they'll all pull out attached cases and no one knows who to follow anymore. They're trying to do an old what's his name? The fucking move from Lucky Number 11. The old Vegas Shuffle or something. I don't know, that's not the name. But if you've seen Lucky Number 11, you know what I mean. No, that couldn't be it. They were wandering in circles, staying right in the same area. They were just running up the clock. What if that's exactly what they were after? Buying time? Kano felt a sudden conviction that he was on the right track. If they needed more time to make sure they got their hands on the ransom payment. They already have it though. Wait, hold on. Could it be that the real case had already been switched out? The ransom money wasn't even in the case anymore. Now, which one of these two is more likely? I don't think that this choice changes anything, since there's no way for us to know at this point. So I think they switched the case out already. It's easier than to getting rid of the money of the inside the case, while the case is still going around. It's hard to do, although was the case ever in a car or something? I think it was. It was always either in train or on foot. Whatever. Could it be that the real case had already been switched out? It made a certain amount of sense. By handing the case off to one accomplice after another, they were leading the detectives to pay more attention to the individuals than the case itself. Exactly my point. That could enable them to swap the case while all the focus was elsewhere. Kano shared his hunch with Sasayama. I see. I mean, it is a possibility. Yeah, we might be following the wrong case. There was palpable tension in the air now. Kano, Sasayama said, you gotta report in to Kosei. On it. Kano's hand flashed to his wireless. But Kosei was dismissive. No, that's the case, I assure you. How would he know? No offense, sir, but how can you be sure? Kosei sighed. Because that's my job. There's an ID tag in that case that allows us to keep tabs on it. There's no way these crooks could have whipped up a duplicate. ID tag? What ID tag? Wait, no, that's right. Kano had forgotten all about that detail in the wake of his all-nighter. Oh, right. Don't you all-right me? Clearly you weren't hired for your brains. Focus on what you're good at. Which is what? He's a detective. He should have been hired for his brains, really. Kosei ended the call. Still, Kano couldn't shake his conviction that something was off. He's right. And Kosei might also be one of the syndicate members. The man with the attached case made his way back to Shibuya Station. The heck? Sasayama grumbled. He's right back where we started. Kano felt his frustration growing. It honestly looked like the syndicate was just randomly lugging the case around town. Near Shibuya Station, a girl approached the suspect. She was Japanese and entirely unlike any of the other criminal accomplices. She spoke to the man while showing him something on a notepad. I can only make out "do you" on the notepad, whatever. He glanced at the pad but did not slow down. Within moments he had left her behind. It looked like she just passed him a message. Well, that's sure fishy, Sasayama muttered. Go over to her and read it as well. What, the girl? Asked Kano. Yeah. Wanna go hit her up? Sasayama could only mean one thing, questioning her. Yeah, let's go see what she knows. She can't be involved with this, can she? I'd still like to know what she has written on a notepad, so we'll go see. I think it's a red herring, but still. Sasayama and Kano hurried over to the girl. Excuse me, miss, we'd like to ask you a few... Are you happy with your life? The young woman shouted. She thrust her notepad in Kano's face. Tell me this, are you happy with your life right now? I'm not. Huh? There was something else written there before, I'm pretty sure. Looking at the notepad, Kano saw the same question written there in big bold letters. The girl's eyes widened in surprise, as if she hadn't expected the two men to actually stop and listen. Right now, sir, she continued more quietly, are you happy? If so, if you could please take the survey about, oh my god, it's Shaki! It only just dawned on me. Ah, it's the reporter girl. That's too shy. Ah. And she can't ask people openly, which is why she's using a notepad. Oh my god, this is such a big time waster probably. If so, could you please take the survey about, about your life? Are you happy with it? The more she spoke, the more flustered she became. So Sasayama stepped in. Hey, I need to know, did you speak with that Western fellow just now? Oh, she's actually kinda cute, I think. I like her glasses. Huh? No, that isn't what I'm asking. Sir, are you happy with your life right now? Are you happy with your life right now? Sasayama is like, bitch, what? Kano got a sinking feeling in his stomach. This kid was looking for religious converts or something. You did speak with him, didn't you? Sasayama snapped. What did you tell him? The girl's rambling abruptly ceased. Oh god, she's gonna break down so hard. Her already ruddy face went even redder and tears welled up in her eyes. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, poor girl. Poor kid, Kano thought. She's just out here trying to get people to listen to her survey questions. There's no way she's part of this kidnapping plot. Yeah, follow him again. Look, miss, he said, for the time being it would be a good idea for you to leave the area. Afraid I'm not at liberty to explain. The girl's only response was to start sobbing outright. Oh, damn it. She's even doing the shy draw circles with your finger on the ground thing. I love it. I love me a shy girl. I can't do this anymore. I want to go home. Kano and Sasayama exchanged awkward glances. I want to go home. I want to go home. Passers-by began shooting curious looks at the trio. "Kano, you get back to work," Sasayama said. "I'll escort this girl to the train station." Oh, is he trying to, get some? He didn't quite manage to stifle the embarrassment in his voice. Maybe he just tries to make good on him fucking making her snap like this. Right, Kano said. He hurried away, his eyes already searching for the suspect they'd been tailing. I think this is a bad end for Mino Recovered, since it means that she stops working. Or maybe it's good for her to not be on here anymore, rather go to the station. It didn't take long to find him. The man's black garb made him stand out in a crowd at the intersection. It occurred to Kano that all of the criminals who'd handled the attached case had been wearing the same black clothing. That fact made the whole situation even weirder. Could they really be ignorant that they were being followed while they were all wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It was more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. Exactly. That still didn't provide any clues as to what they were after, though. The longer Kano kept tailing these guys, the less it all made sense. Was it really such a good idea to keep this up? Someone's life was in danger and they were just letting the kidnappers carry out their plan, whatever it was. The very first page of the Dick Diary spelled things loud and clear on that front. Dick Dictum number 1 means, let me translate, give me a second, okay, it means never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, ever. Now you know. Right now, the single most important thing was ensuring the hostage's safety. This was a situation where Tateno would have stuck to his guns for sure. Oh, the intense look. Kano thought back to that day 3 years ago. Oh god, now another flashback! A burglar had shut himself inside a financial office and doused the place in gasoline. Oh, I remember. We've read about this before. Kano had just been put on police box duty and was ordered to the scene because his box was just down the street from the standoff. It's not really something a single officer can do alone, right? Several officers had surrounded the building, keeping close tabs on the situation. The suspect was shouting nonsense through the entrance on the first floor. Things were getting heated. A crowd of alarmed onlookers had started to form as well. "Step aside," a voice said suddenly from amidst the throng. A middle-aged man in a rumpled business suit had approached Kano as he hovered nervously at the edge of the scene. "I'm sorry, sir," Kano said. "You have to stay back for your own safety." He attempted to usher the man back into the crowd. A no-nonsense look crossed the newcomer's face. He spoke in a low voice. "I'm Detective Tateno from Shibuya Precinct. What's the situation?" "Oh, sir, I'm so sorry. Yes, of course. Wait, make him show you his badge or his police notebook or something." Kano stammered and quickly explained. He hasn't taken anyone hostage, but there are still people on the upper floors of the building. Giving only a slight nod, Tateno marched straight to the building. The plastic container of gasoline the suspect had used was on the ground out front. Tateno picked it up and dumped the remaining contents out over his head. Which is a goddamn crazy thing to do. Kano was at a loss for words. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. "I've covered myself in gasoline too," Tateno called out from the entryway. The tension in the air ratcheted itself up several notches. "Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?" Kano heard the burglar shouting from inside. "If you're gonna do it, Tateno called out. "We can die together." And he walked into the building. Kano is like, "Is this a mad lad?" All Kano could do was watch things unfold through the plate glass window. Tateno was talking to the burglar, but Kano couldn't make out the words. The crook was clutching a lighter, his hand trembling. His expression was like that of a frightened child. Seeing someone that's genuinely crazy, maybe? Tateno slowly approached him and took firm hold of his shaking hand. The onlookers erupted into cheers and applause. Tateno handed the now docile suspect over to the detectives, then wearily sat down against the planter out front. It was like something ripped straight out of a police drama. "That was amazing," Kano breathed. "You have to deal with guys like that as quickly as you can. You let a situation like this get even a little out of hand, and you never know how things might go south on you." Tateno spoke quietly, almost as if he were talking to himself. As the police evacuated the rest of the building, Kano noticed that there were children and elderly people among them. If the perp had managed to set a fire, there was no way they would have escaped in time. But, I mean, what if he actually set the place on fire? If someone's willing to risk their life, you're not going to convince them of anything unless you do the same. That holds some truth to it, doesn't it? That's quite a deep thought, but also at the same time quite crazy, since you have to, as he says, risk your life. Kano still remembered the awe he felt at Tateno's matter-of-fact tone, or maybe his crazy tone? Kano hadn't become a police officer out of any real sense of duty. He just thought it would make Rumi happy if he became a detective like her father. Besides, civil servants tended to stay afloat in times of recession, and his time playing rugby meant he was in good physical shape for the job. He'd never really thought too much about protecting the citizenry or keeping the peace. But now, here he was in the presence of a detective who'd literally risked his life in the line of duty without a second thought. And it even looked like it wasn't even his shift or something. He just came over here and asked, "What's the situation?" "Okay, I do it." A police officer never loses sight of what he's supposed to protect. Ever. Getting back to his feet, Tateno tugged off his gasoline-drenched coat and walked away. Kano wrote the words in a notebook he'd just purchased. Thus, the Dick Diary was born. Thinking back to the way Tateno had put his life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers made Kano feel all the more raw about just tailing these syndicate members. Letting the crooks just wander around wasn't going to bring Maria or Sava to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. But don't act against Kuse's orders. That's... Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. He uttered the fundamental Dick dictum out loud. Well, you've lost sight of it completely, a voice said out of nowhere. Well, Kano spun around. Oh. It was Shizuo, so it's... Well, you've lost sight of it completely. Rumi was with him. Sir? Kano stuttered. Weren't you supposed to be waiting at the cafe for... There was some lowlife there, so we left. Rumi's dad looked plenty mean under ordinary circumstances. Right now, he looked like a man possessed. Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm still on duty at the moment. I'm going back home, Shizuo huffed. You're not marrying my daughter. He turned to walk away. No, please, just wait. I'm done waiting. Now I'm going home. Please don't do this. Just hear me out. I've heard all I need to hear from you. Rumi, we're leaving. Dad, please. Goodbye. Seizing his daughter by the hand, Shizuo stormed off without another word, dragging her behind. Shinya, she called out over her shoulder. Rumi. She was gone. Rumi was gone. Kano desperately wanted to go after her, but he hesitated in an agony of indecision. I can't turn my back on my responsibilities. I'm a detective. My work has to be my first priority. Going after Rumi isn't what a good detective would do. Oh, Detective Tateno, what should I do? Tateno, Is this a bad end? Still the dictum echoed in his mind. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. God, this is such a dramatical scene, and the music. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. This is a to be continued, isn't it? 6 months later, it's a bad end. Oh no, come on. Why? How? 6 months later, Kano made his way through a small corner of a vast field in the Nagano countryside. Slowly and leisurely, he tilled the soil. He'd surprised himself with his own newfound enthusiasm for organic farming, learning more from Shizuo day after day. I think I'd also like to do that, actually. If you could live from that stuff, I think I would do it. I love the calm farming life, or way of life rather. I don't know, it's just it's so different to what I experience. So maybe I'm just yearning for it, I don't know. His father-in-law had taught him the ways of farming from the ground up, and while things had been rocky between them at first, their friendship was now growing strong. Pausing to wipe his brow, he smiled at the acreage around him. He looked forward to tending the crops he'd sown until harvest came around. If he'd stayed on as a detective, he might well never have known the joy he now found in his work. That's right, maybe this is a good end for Kano. And this wasn't the only seed Kano had planted. Oh my god, did he impregnate her? By the time harvest season came around, the new life growing within his dear Rumi's belly would be ready to celebrate it with them. Oh, what does her father say about this though? Oh, that's not a bad end. Come on, game. We got married! Let's read the hint and then end for today. Kano went after Rumi and Shizuo, proving his devotion and earning her hand in marriage. Now he's a farmer in Nagano, and crime in Tokyo is someone else's problem. But hang on a sec. Why weren't Rumi and Shizuo waiting at a cafe like they were supposed to be? Well, there's no way for Kano to know about how one man's bit of curiosity at that cafe led to this strange twist of fate. Oh, so I'm guessing it's something to do with either Achi or Minorikawa. Oh, what an ending, huh? I could just leave the game at that and say, okay, the syndicate got the money, the daughters are gone, but Kano is happy. But no, we'll change Kano's fate next time. Bye.